Today, I'm gonna be showing you exactly how I find profitable wholesale deals virtually without ever leaving my bedroom. And instead of just telling you guys how I do this, I'm going to expose my process in real time. By the end of this video, you will see how simple it is to find distressed properties, to put them under contract and wholesale them for $5,000, $10,000, or even $20,000. Let's dive in. All right, so I'm gonna walk you through my virtual driving for dollars method step by step. This is exactly how I got started when I had barely any money to put into this, and it's what I recommend to every beginner. First thing we need to do is pick a neighborhood to virtually drive through. I'm gonna be focusing around the south side of Chicago today, specifically around the Inglewood area. All right, I'm pulling up Google Maps and I'm typing in Inglewood, Chicago. This area has a ton of potential deals over this way because there's a lot of distressed properties over here. You know, home values are increasing in the surrounding areas and there's a lot of investor activity going on over here. And there's really only three things that I look for in an area to wholesale in, and it has to do with the high crime, low income, and the area is increasing in value over the last few years. Now we're in Street View and I'm literally going to drive down these streets virtually looking for properties that are showing signs of distress. Now, what am I looking for? Let me show you. All right, so look at here, this property right here, it's got a boarded up window right here. You know, the exterior isn't looking too hot. You got some gardens in the gutters up here. I think we can still find a better example, but you know, keep this in mind. Here's another good example. Anytime I see any sort of overgrown weeds and grass like this, it's definitely a sign of an area that I wanna be grabbing houses in. Now, before I start adding any properties to this list, I still wanna give you a better idea of exactly what we're looking for. All right, so look at this house right here. You got the boarded up door right here, a ton of overgrown grass and weeds. You know, the windows are all messed up. You got, you know, definitely some gardens going on in the gutters over here. This is a perfect representation of a potential vacant property or very distressed property owner. So now that we know exactly what we're looking for, let me add this to my list and I'm gonna be opening up DealMachine right now. So now we're over in DealMachine. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I got the right address though. Go ahead and click it, and I'm just gonna click add lead. So I first wanted to show you guys how to do this on Google Maps Street View, but if you're going to be using DealMachine and you're gonna be using this method, I highly recommend just doing it on DealMachine, and let me show you how to do that. So now we're back on the Google Street View. It's just a DealMachine version of it, and it's so much easier to be able to add properties. So as you can see, we already grabbed this one. All you would do is click it, and then as you can see, I already added it. And the really cool thing about DealMachine is that it already has all the property owner details right here. It gives you their name, their address, and it even gives you a phone number. Majority of the time, DealMachine isn't 100% accurate, which most softwares aren't 100% accurate. So it's just kind of a numbers game. And another really cool way that you can get more leads in your list is by looking at the portfolio of the homeowner. So as you can see, this guy right here, he has two other properties. So why not? Let's just take it and let's add it to our list as well. So let's go ahead. Let's keep trying to find more properties. Let's see what we can find. You got this one right here. I'm gonna go ahead and add this one also. Now, as I'm moving down the street in this specific block, I'm starting to pick up on some patterns. This particular area has several properties with very similar issues. When you see multiple distressed properties like this in a specific area, that's often a good sign. It means that there might be like a neighborhood-wide kind of issue that's causing people to, you know, neglect homes or, you know, just leave their properties vacant or just get out of the area. I'm gonna grab a couple more houses into my list and then let's take a deeper dive into them. What do you know? This one was literally across the street from these two. And this is always a good sign too, kind of sidetracking, but as you can see with this house right here, some might be able to pick up on this, some might not, but just with my experience, I can tell that this is a freshly rehabbed home. Reason being, it's got newer windows, it's got some stuff, it looks like it's got some city, you know, permits or notices in the window as well, and there's security cameras right there. And the best part is there's a distressed property right next to it. So if I were to grab this deal, I'm sure that the person that fixed up and flipped this property is probably gonna want that one as well. So let's click it. Go ahead and add that one. And honestly, I like this one too, just because I might want to talk with the previous buyer. So let's add it. But let's just grab two more and then let's take a deeper dive into these properties and see what we can find. Here's another good potential one. Let's add it. I don't think there's a house on that lot. Oh, there we go. Got these two right here. All right, so now I'm gonna end this drive. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 8 leads that I just added. So off the rip, I'm already liking what we're seeing right here. As you can see, this one that we added is off market and it's got high equity, but let's see what else we can find within it. So it looks like this person bought it for $115,000 in 2022. Based on the Google Street View, it doesn't look like they've done anything with it as of yet. So far, showing really good signs. Some other really good signs as well is that, yes, it's got the high equity, like I said, but it looks like it's 100% equity. So they cashed out on this property. It doesn't look like they might have pulled any loans on this home, I wanna say, just because there's about 100% equity. And some other good things is that the owner does not live there and it is vacant right now. So some pretty good telling signs that this could possibly be a deal. Let's take a look at this one. Ooh, so with this one, again, off market, it looks like they're free and clear, so they don't owe anything on the property. They got a lot of equity. The owner does not live there, and the owner is also a little bit on the older side. The DealMachine is considering them a senior. So with this one that we added, it looks like it just recently sold, and it looks like an investor already fixed it up and flipped it. So I'm gonna still keep this, but however, I'm going to tag him as a cash buyer, because clearly this is an investor that is buying and fixing up properties. So for those that are a little bit confused on why I just did that, obviously once we find these properties, we put them under contract, we need to find an investor to sell it to. So if I'm already grabbing properties in this area to try to lock up and sell, you might as well find the buyers as you go and, keep it in your back pocket for, when you're ready to sell a property. Let's see what else we can find. So again, off market, looks like this person is considered a cash buyer as well, according to DealMachine. Absentee owner, high equity. When did they buy this? They bought this in 2021. So yeah, not a terrible grab. Let's see here with this one. Again, off market, high equity. So yeah, you guys are kind of starting to pick up on the pattern here. Here, let's just head over to our lead list and see all the ones that we just recently added. I'm clicking back over on this one, and another great telling sign is that it looks like they are also delinquent on their taxes. So another great sign that this is probably going to be a great wholesale deal. Now, I do want to be frank. What I'm doing right here, right now, kind of researching into these properties that I'm adding into my list is something that I do not want you guys to do. All I want you to do is find these distressed properties, add it to your list, and just start calling them. The reason why I'm going through it right now is just to show you that these properties that you are looking for and adding to your list, there are telling signs behind the curtains that tell you that this is probably going to be a wholesale deal. But the reason why I say don't research these properties before calling them is because you don't even know if the owner is going to be interested in selling. So you're just going to be wasting a lot of time, researching these properties when you could just be calling and, sourcing interest and getting deals quicker. So as I said, DealMachine is already grabbing the phone numbers and the homeowner's information for me. So I'm going to be calling these tomorrow during my calling session. But based on all the factors that we kind of just identified here, I believe that there is a very high chance that we might find some interested sellers. Now, this is a numbers game. I typically like to add around like 20 to 30 properties to my list in a single virtual driving session. Let me show you how quickly you can do that. All right, so we just hit the 10-minute mark, and as you can see, I have added 24 distressed properties to my DealMachine list. As you can see, this doesn't take a lot of time or effort at all. If I spend an hour a day doing this every single day, I will have hundreds, if not thousands of potential deals on my plate. And again, I don't want you to have the misconception that every single one of these properties that you're adding onto this list is going to be a deal. Again, it's a numbers game. However, again, if I do this, once a day for an hour, for an entire month, I will have hundreds of potential leads. And now the last step from here is literally just calling the leads. I know I kind of showed you going through each lead or each house that I added, kind of looking at the back end details that are kind of behind the curtain, but I do not want you to do this. As simple as it might sound, it is. All you have to do is start calling them, and there's only 3 things that you need to be doing to keep everything organized. You call them, are they interested? Are they not interested? Are they going to be interested down the line? If so, you're going to be using these 3 lead statuses. Warm leads for people that are interested, but maybe a little bit further down the line. You're going to also use hot lead for people that are gonna need or gonna want to be hearing an offer like tomorrow or within the next few days. And then the only other one that I want you to use as well is not interested, because you're gonna be talking to some people and some of them are just not gonna be interested in hearing an offer. And even as I am going through, I'm calling, you also wanna be going over to activity, and you wanna be, adding in your notes and your tasks as well. So whatever you guys talk about, very interested, wants $50,000, full gut renovation, whatever the case may be, post a note just so you remember. And then another thing, you want to also set a task to, do something in the near future, whether that's make an offer, fully qualify, go out to the appointment, you name it, put it there. Make an offer for myself, due date, let's do it for tomorrow, create task. And then all of those tasks are going to pop up right here for you. So April 29th is when I set the task. Make an offer. Let's say I do it. Let's mark it as complete. Bada bing, bada boom. This is how you're gonna keep everything organized. Now I know what you're thinking. Cam, you're telling me I just need to find a neighborhood with a lot of distressed properties, add them to a list. I already get the phone number and I just start calling. Some are probably gonna be very interested in selling. Listen, I'm telling you, there's no special way that you need to go about, wholesaling real estate. It's really as simple as finding distressed properties, calling the homeowner, and putting the properties under contract. Keep in mind, there are millions of houses in America, so it's not hard to find these deals out here where the homeowners are neglecting their properties and they're highly motivated to want to get this off of their hands. They're just procrastinating like crazy. And another misconception that I really want to break down for you guys is that who's buying properties in the hood to fix up and flip? Who's investing in rough areas? Guys, if there is money to be made, you best believe that there's going to be investors out there. You saw what the home values were over here. They were upwards of $200,000, even $300,000. If you can get a good deal around $50,000, put $100,000 into it to make upwards of $100,000 on a fix and flip, I'm telling you, there's going to be hundreds of investors dying to take on your deals. So please, please, please do not overcomplicate this. This thing is stupid simple. Find properties, put them under contract, and sell it to a cash buyer. Now, if you haven't already checked out my 2-hour free course on YouTube, please go watch that now. This is quite literally the blueprint to succeeding with wholesaling in 2025, and I do not want you to miss out on it. There's even clips of real coaching calls that we've taken with our inner circle members at the very end. So click somewhere around this video to go watch that. And if you want to learn more about getting coached by me one-on-one, check the link in the description for that. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you in the next one. I fucking love you guys.